What on earth is going on at West Ham, guys? Amanda Stavely is back in the frame and is said to be looking to purchase the Gold family's 25% share in the club for around £161 million. It's being reported. And this comes after there was talk of Kretinsky buying a good portion of the Gold shares. That had been quiet for weeks. We'd heard that I think the Golds were going to have about 12 to 15% left in the club and would be running the club with Kretinsky. Really strange. The new board has been named, with Kretinsky and the Golds. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's just quiet. We're wondering, why has it not been announced? Why has Kretinsky not got these shares yet? It's been announced that Amanda Stavely wants to buy all of them. They'll probably retain a tiny amount like Terence Brown or something like that. Just an honorary little share in legacy to her dad. But it's a crazy development. This has been reported by Sky Sports. It's been reported by the Mail, BBC, a lot of outlets. And, there's been rumours about her interest for a while. It was talk about her maybe wanting to buy Sullivan's shares. Now, we spoke on Friday Night Pint about the rumours that Sullivan is waiting until we get promoted back to the Prem. We spoke on Friday Night Pint about these rumours that Sullivan's waiting until we get promoted back to the Premier League to sell up. So I can see basically Amanda Stavely and her husband buying the Gold shares, getting a foothold into the club, and then when Sullivan's ready to sell, buy those shares as well, becoming the de facto majority shareholders of the club, and then whatever Kretinsky wants to do. I don't know whether Kretinsky's had second thoughts or the Golds are holding it up because they are waiting to see, because this bid is coming in from Amanda Stavely and they're waiting up selling the entirety of their shares, or near enough the entirety of their shares, to Stavely and her husband, or a portion of their shares to Daniel Kretinsky, and the value that they're getting for both those deals. And that could be what's holding up our transfer business. Everything seems to be going very slowly at the moment at West Ham. And it seems like there's so much uncertainty over the ownership and the future of the club that it's trickling down to the recruitment. And ultimately, look, I think Amanda Stavely getting involved would be a massive positive. It's something that I've been hoping for quite a while. I've been banging on the drum for. And listen, what she has done with Man City and Newcastle, look, I know things have been, it's difficult at Newcastle, but she did what she said she was going to do. She set out a plan. They played Champions League football. They won a trophy. And ultimately they're finding themselves sort of at the mercy of FFP and PSR, the closed shop up near the top of the table, which is always going to be a difficult thing any club will have to face. But let's be completely honest right now. We'd rather be in their shoes than our shoes. We'd rather be run by their owners than Sullivan, right? So I would prefer Amanda Stavely coming in and buying the Gold shares versus Kretinsky buying a portion. I think that they're ambitious, they have a plan, they have a strategy, and then can go and bring in further investment for the club, so that they're at the head of a consortium. Apparently the bid is in. We've just got to wait and see what the Golds do, because it will be completely up to the Golds, and whether they had a sort of verbal agreement with Daniel Kretinsky, how that factors in. Will he have any say? Will there be any sort of consultation with Kretinsky if they've already agreed verbally to this deal with Kretinsky? Where will that leave things then with this new bid that comes in? How much does Kretinsky want to be the main man and the head of the club versus a shareholder? That's what I want to know. But it's frustrating because everything's taking so long. But at the same time, it's exciting. I'm going to say I'm excited, right? None of it may happen. But if Stavely gets involved in the club, I think positive things will happen. You know, they see the value and potential of the club, the location, the stadium, the land around it. We're a London club. There's a lot of upside to them. You know, they had an interview. Stavely done an interview not too long ago and was talking about wanting to buy a club that had sort of lost its way and restore it to glory and all of that. And they said West Ham, and she was very cagey. It was like, oh, maybe they want the West Ham. Massive fan base, lots of potential. I've always thought this a sleeping giant. We've got tons and tons of potential. 50,000 season tickets sold in the Championship. We're a big club. We just need someone to come in and run this club seriously and show some ambition. Look, clubs like West Ham and Newcastle, we're always going to have a ceiling. Thanks to the rules that are put in place in the Premier League to keep the clubs at the top. But there's always a chance of here and there upsetting that status quo and breaking in. Whether we can sustain being up there is one thing. But right now, it's about coming in, investing, getting the club in the Premier League, and then making us realise our full potential. So I'm happy. I'm not happy because it hasn't happened yet, but I'm hopeful. So let's see. We're obviously going to talk about more on Friday Night Pint. We're going to talk about the transfer links and all of that stuff. But again, like I said, things seem to be just moving at a snail's pace because this ownership thing, which was supposed to be resolved in June, we thought it would be resolved in June. I don't say it was supposed to, but you know, it was announced, I think, early June, and nothing's happened. So it's all on the Golds. And I implore the Gold family, take the deal. 160 mil is great money for 25% of shares for a Championship club. Just take the money. It makes sense. Do what's best for the club, and we'll move on. So let's see. Fingers crossed, guys, that there's a dawn, you know, after this long night that we've had at this club. So let me know what you guys think. Do you want Kretinsky to go through and buy his portion of the Gold shares, or are you hopeful for Amanda Stavely to come in and do the business? But like I said, we'll talk about it more on Friday Night Pint. So yeah, check it out. One thing left to say. Check out OK Jerseys. Two things left to say. Go get your shirts and all of that. And then come on, you Irons.